On a farm.
Mm-hmm. What farm is it? Is it vegetable farm? How would you describe it?
It's the vegetable farm. I'm near, I guess, a home.
So this is where you live?
Yeah, I get that impression.
Mm-hmm. Do you see yourself as a man or a woman? Connect with that being, connect with that experience. Maybe you look at the feet, look at your hands in that space. Tell me, how does it feel?
Definitely masculine.
Mm-hmm. Are you wearing any sandals? Are you barefoot?
I don't have any shoes on. I'm barefoot.
Mm-hmm. So it's a simple farm. It's not a rich house.
Oh, no, no.
Mm-hmm. And when you feel the body, you have a masculine body. Is it fit and young, or is it older, or maybe a child? How would you describe it?
A fit 40s, very muscular.
Mm-hmm. Seems like
and tall.
Tall, okay.
Yeah.
So it seems like this man embodies physical strength.
Yeah.
And when you connect to his energy, to his psyche, how does he seem to you? Mentally strong, decisive, aggressive, calm? What would you say his personality feels like?
He has a very strong, and a mix of very strong and deep energy.
Mm-hmm.
Calm with a, he's a calm, but with a slight aggressive tendency to his nature. That's what I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So,
Yeah.
So he's mostly well composed and strong. Sometimes has bursts of short temper.
I would say that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is this his farm? Is this his household?
Yeah, that's his place.
Okay. Let's look around. Let's see if there are any other people on this farm. Is there a woman? Are there any children?
Yeah, I see children.
Very good.
I see a few little girls, but yeah, I see a few little girls, and they're just sitting and just looking at him. From just a normal scenario. Just like a normal scene.
Okay, very good. Does he work on this farm? Does he grow? Does the children work? Who else helps there? Is there a woman? Let's look inside of the house, walk towards the house. Let's get inside and see if there's anybody else inside.
And there is a woman.
When you connect to her and him, is there love between them?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's a small family. That's it. It's like a couple of girls who feel like daughters and his wife. And so it's not a big family like you would think, because this is definitely an era.
Okay. When you look at her and him, your children's skin, what do they look like?
Very dark.
Dark.
Like dark skin.
Okay. Like
darker than me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get Africa, but I get maybe Caribbean, South American, mm-hmm. Just like where I came from, but it's not the same place.
Okay. Very good.
But they're all darker, like shades darker than me.
Okay, very good. So we know this man is in his 40s. He's birthed. The household, you said it's simple, right?
Very simple, yeah.
Do you feel like they experience poverty, or do they have enough food? Do they have enough for what they need?
No, they're not. They're not impoverished. They're not wealthy. But they can support themselves. There's no feeling of lack or need.
Very good. Very good. Does this man have a name? Does any name come to you right away?
Samson.
Samson. Mm-hmm. Very good. Now we know where he lives, somewhere in Caribbeans. When you look at the interior of the house, what time frame comes to you?
1800s,
Mm-hmm.
150,
Okay.
100, could even be 200 years ago.
Okay. So you'll see simple utensils.
Yeah, the house is simple. Everything is simple. It's just everything you need to survive, and you could have a gathering there. But it seems like a simple farmer's house. Nothing special, nothing spectacular.
Does it feel that they're part of communities? They're a village?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. So they're not just self-reliant, there are other people in the community.
Yeah. This place is very similar to how I grew up in this life, my first 11 years. But it's not the same place.
Okay. Let's close that scene. Allow yourself then to drift and float. So we're closing that scene just like in a movie. One scene ends. We're going to appear in another scene where something important is happening in this man's life. So that's Samson. Let him take you to an important day or event in his life that we would like to look at and describe. Be there now.
He's in a war scene.
Okay. Okay. You can watch from above. You don't have to experience. Just report to me. What do you see?
He's he's definitely one of those in charge of the battle.
Okay.
There's a lot of so it's like around. They don't look like musketeers. They look more like this is a battle in Europe, and he's either the commander of those troops, the general, whatever. He is one of those. He's in charge of the situation, the strategy, because he's pointing his finger and he's directing.
Using his voice too to command.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And does he wear?
He's dressed like a British officer.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Does this happen earlier or later in his life? Was this happening, or is it?
Let me see what he looks like. He's older. He's in his 50s.
Okay. Okay. Very good. So he is an officer or commander. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's definitely an officer of some sort.
And you said it looks like British Army.
Yeah, he's dressed, but then many of the, I won't get specific. It looks, I'll just keep it there.
Connect to Samson. How is he feeling in this war scene? Does he feel that this is his purpose? Does he feel like this is what needs to be done? What emotions are flowing through you when you connect to him?
At this point, he's like doing what it takes to get the job done. He's on autopilot. He's executing. He's seeing what needs to be done. He's strategizing. He's thinking ahead. He's
very focused on what
very
is
focused.
required of him, right?
Yes.
Do you know why he took that job? Do you know what led to him becoming an officer or commander?
Family.
Family.
Yeah, it's sort of let's see, he comes from a tradition of soldiers, sailors, captains, sort of that kind of a deal. His family is a leading family, so he always takes, or the sons always take positions in society that put them in, whether they're other generals or they're on boats. No, this is a very respected, sort of powerful kind of family that this individual in this particular lifetime belongs to.
Okay, very good. So this is something that's in his genes, in his blood.
Yeah.
It's easy for him to fulfill that role.
Yeah, very different than the first character. I mean,
So there must have been some kind of circumstance that led him to become a commander.
Mm-hmm. And he's not the same. He doesn't look the same. He's a different. He's in this situation.
Okay.
He's Caucasian.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you jumped into another realm where this experience is happening. Very good. So he feels like a man on his place. He doesn't feel like it's something difficult. He has done this before.
Yeah, he looks like he's an old hand at this. He's done it before.
Very
that particular guy, yeah.
Very good. Anything else worth reporting? Any casualties? Who is winning? Who is losing? How does he feel?
He's on this, which is very strange, because he's standing on this I wouldn't say pedestal, but a place where he can see very well.
Correct.
So he can see what's going on. But ironically, he can also be easily seen, which is unlike what you would do, because he can easily be taken out.
So he's exposed.
But he's exposed, but he doesn't have any worries about being exposed. He's just simply doing his job, and he's not concerned about any of that.
When you connect that, do you think that he likes to be seen, like as that kind of person who is fearless?
Oh, he's definitely fearless. And he definitely likes you to know what he is and who he is, definitely.
Okay. So there is a part of his ego that wants to be seen despite of the danger.
Yeah, the danger is not even a concern to him.
Okay. Okay. So if he dies, that is not an issue.
He's not even worried about death.
Okay, very good. Let's close that scene. We'll drift and float to another scene, either in this man's life, earlier or later, or any other life that is important for us to see. Where something of importance is happening. Something that we need to look at, we need to examine, because it has an information for us to gather. Float towards that scene. Tell me where you are.
I feel with a woman. They're very close together. Obviously, lovers. That's the energy.
Is he a man still?
He's still a man. Yeah. I mean, I need to make sure he's not a woman with another man. So let me be clear on that.
With that consciousness, orient yourself. It's almost like you put modules together until it solidifies. And then when it solidifies for you, then report back to me what's available for you to see, experience, feel.
Well, this is a very, look at it. It's a very, very wholesome, loving kind of environment, situation. Obviously, two people very much in love with each other. They're in like a meadow kind of place. Very peaceful, very calm.
Are they indoors?
No, they're outdoors.
Okay.
But there's a bit of worry in him that he may lose this person. So not to another person, but I think to some kind of incident. That's the feeling I'm getting.
Okay. So he's worried that something may happen to this woman. Is this a woman, his partner?
Yes.
Are they in a loving embrace? What do you think?
Very loving. She's smiling, and sort of like it looks like a portrait picture kind of a deal, two lovers in a meadow.
Right. They're in the meadow. So they're having like a picnic, lovers picnic.
No, there's nothing there. It's just them.
It's just them.
Yeah, they don't have
anything with them.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think they often go to that place?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
When you think of this relationship or connect deeper, are they partners or are they lovers? Do they have to hide their relationship from society?
You just asked the question. That's what I got. They will often just meet there And maybe the reason why there's nothing there is so that no one will ask questions. She's carrying a picnic. Oh, where are you going? You know, she has nothing in her hand. I'm seeing a scene with her, nothing in her hands, and walking away from a home, so that she's just going out for a walk, which is
nothing suspicious
about it. And he doesn't have anything either. And they're meeting in this place, and it's pretty much very, very. It feels hidden, like it's only them, and they're just not going to be easily seen in that particular place.
When you connect to this couple, has this been going on for a while between them?
Yeah, they know each other very well. It's like it almost looks like they grew up together. It's almost that kind of familiarity that I feel.
So it's almost like they're maybe from smaller community and they've been friends and then became lovers. However, it seems like they're both engaged in different domestic partnerships, or at least one person.
Yeah, like I didn't think of it like that, but yeah, there's definitely a reason for this relationship not to be public, let's say. Or they feel that way.
Do you have any indication, or maybe you sense that one of the person is in a relationship officially?
She is.
She is. Okay. So she is, and this man is free.
The man is free.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah. The man is free, but she is. Yeah.
So he's worried that he might lose her.
Yeah.
Why they chose each other? Why do you think there is so much love between them and that feeling of kinship?
That's I'm seeing a word is "we are one" is the word. It's a phrase. We are one.
And when you feel this woman, does she remind you of anyone that you know in this lifetime?
You asked me that. Yeah. Pretty much.
Okay. Somebody who had a relationship with?
Yeah, remember the person I told you about that that I broke. Remember I said I broke the rules for this person?
Correct.
It feels like her.
In this life, when you were that man and she was that woman, have you been able to make your relationship official further down the line? Let's look further down the line and see what happens with that couple. Let's fast forward a little bit and find out another important scene and event.
She asks him to take her away, and he does.
He does take her away.
Yeah, like they
run
leave.
Away, right?
They run away, pretty much. They run away together.
When you look at them, how are they dressed?
Oh, these two are. They come from well-off. They're not. They're very well dressed. She has a very long, flowing dress. She comes from a very well-to-do family. He is dressed, and I'm just saying this based on how they dressed and how I know, just from a logical sense, people would dress back then.
Okay, back then meaning, are we like in Victorian era?
Victorian era is perfect. Okay. That's when it is.
Okay, beautiful. So they're two elegant people.
Yeah.
You would say, right? Well educated?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You wouldn't be dressed like that if you didn't have all of it. Yeah.
Ways to learn and be part of elite or educated society.
Yeah.
And you said that they decide to run away together. He decides to take that move.
Yeah.
Okay. What happens next? Where do they end up? Let's connect to another important scene to this couple's life, where something important is happening. They already left.
It's sort of I'm being told, because I can see words
Yes.
So along, and then I get the pictures.
Very good.
And this nightmare actually happens.
Nightmare.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. He loses her to illness.
Okay. Okay. So they did end up living together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she dies from
She
an
dies,
illness.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
The word plague
Plague.
comes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it seems like they're still young people. They're not more than probably 40, right?
Oh no, they're not. Yeah, they're not. Yeah, because I'm looking at him after, and he's still pretty young. He's no more than 40, or in there. He looks in that age range kind of deal. He's not old at all.
Okay. So she dies. Connect for a moment to her spirit outside of the body. If you could watch her spirit detach from the physical body. And tell me if you can see if she went back to the light, if she reached peace, or if there is anything else that she needs in order to go back to the source.
I see the word in between.
In between. So something was not resolved.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's follow this man for a moment. Let's go back to the man. Follow him till the last day of his life. From what you said, it seems like he lost the love of his life.
Yeah, him. Oh, sorry.
Has he ever recovered that loss in his lifetime? How does it
He
feel
never
to
did.
you?
He never had another woman after her.
Okay. How did he die?
He died alone.
Was it years later?
Yeah, he was an older man when he died.
Okay. Was he ready to go?
Yeah, he was. He became a writer. He was ready to go.
So he was a writer. He was a creative before he died.
Yeah.
What was he writing? Novels, fiction, poetry? What comes to you? How do you see it? Picture it.
He wrote poetry and love stories, and like love stories. It's kind of sad. I'm feeling into his energy. He was never really ever happy after that.
Okay. Do you think that tragedy inspired his writing and was sort of a propeller?
Yeah, it's how he got away. It's how he
managed.
Yeah, it's how he coped.
Okay. So he never had a family.
No.
Was he able to support himself through writing, or was it wealth from a different source? How does it feel to you? Was he ever acknowledged as a writer?
I see the words famous.
Famous. Okay.
I see the word, just one word, famous. So he was very accomplished together. His writing was well known.
Okay. So by a lot of people's standards, he was a successful man.
Yes, I would say that. Yeah, by other people's standards, yes.
But internally, he never connected to another human being that deeply again.
Never, not even close.
Okay. Let's watch how he gives his last breath. You said he died alone. Allow his spirit to detach from his body. See him in the non-physical realm. Let's find out. Let's look at his life from that perspective. What was the reason for this life? What was he supposed to learn in that life?
He was supposed to learn true love and self-reliance. Those are the two words as a feeling.
When you look at his life, was he able to learn that? We already know he was self-reliant, he was famous, right? What about the love? Love has many different phases and attributes. It's not just a romantic love, it's also self-love, right? It's also freedom if you love, allowing the person to be free and to decide.
He knew what love in a certain sense, but I don't feel he learned the complete lesson of love because it went away with something else. True love, once you really know it, you can't lose it because of something.
So he hasn't fully felt it in his heart, that love, when he was alive.
No, he felt it through her.
Let's connect these two together. I would like you to bring this woman into the stage in the non-physical way, in the non-physical realm. And I would like them to communicate with each other. You said that there was a feeling that things are unfinished in between, that none of them could move forward as a spirit, as a soul. What happens in that space? Are they able to communicate?
She is giving him, these are the words, because often this is how I see things, through words. Often, rather than in a vision, I call it my third ear. People say third eye, I say third ear. She says to him, I'm giving you something, giving you back what I took, is what she says.
Okay. Allow him to feel it. Allow her to send what she took from him. What is it that she took from him in that life? Seems like she took that ability from him to feel love, to feel complete.
Yeah, and she did. She took that from him.
So it was almost like a spell. He could never.
Yeah, and it's but you know how you see that it doesn't feel malevolent.
I understand.
Yeah.
It just created circumstances for this man where he could never feel love again.
Yeah.
He felt separated from the rest of the world and life.
Yeah.
Was he able to get it back? Let him feel what she took.
Yeah.
And let him feel if it's possible for her to perhaps offer an apology or some form of explanation. So that
she gave the explanation earlier too, in the giving.
In the giving, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. And what was again the explanation? Why did she need to have that ownership? What was important in that experience for her? Was it making her feel secure?
I was just about to say that word. It was security, and that she would never ever lose him.
Even if she's in the spirit realm already.
Yeah, so she would never lose him, and she she felt guilt, a lot of guilt based on how they were put together, and always had the fear that what she did to within the previous situation to be with him would end up happening to her. So to be the reason for the security was to take something to protect herself from that happening.
So she doesn't have to experience that scenario herself.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, very good. Now, was he able to forgive her, and was he able to clear that contract?
He has, there wasn't any, he has no remorse over it.
Okay. It was just on her part.
It's sort of like she could, this is how it feels about her. He forgives her, he knows what happened, and he's willing to look past it very quickly and very easily. He acknowledges that what she did was not right. But when it comes to her, it's like she can do no wrong.
Absolutely. So, in this moment, does it feel like the spirit that was once connected to this woman has reached peace and can move forward now and transition?
I honestly say yes.
Okay.
I mean, both of them, actually.
Very good. Very good. Let them float. Let them go back to the source. Let them experience what they need to experience. And we will continue our journey into another place, another time, where there is information for us to look at and examine. Allow yourself to float and drift. And when the time is right, connect, pull yourself down, allow yourself to be attracted deeply to another experience in another form, solid physical form, where you can report what you're feeling, what you're seeing, what words come, what images come.
Yeah, this where I'm at now is a very miserable lifetime.
Okay.
A lifetime of slavery and working and on a plantation, that kind of deal.
Okay. So you have no sense of personal freedom in this life.
Oh yeah, which is my worst nightmare, actually.
Okay. Watch it. You don't have to experience the fear of that person. Just watch it from a third-party perspective, an observer. Is this person a man or a woman?
He's a man again.
Gosh. Fit and strong again, or older or young? How does it feel?
He's late 20s. Very fit, very strong.
Was he born as a slave?
No.
No?
No.
So he was kidnapped, or he was taken?
Yeah, from where it was taken, it was actually, from where he was taken. This is a civilized human being who was taken into slavery.
Okay. So he lived in dignity before.
Yeah.
Meaning that he wasn't living in poverty, or maybe it was a simple life again.
Yeah, it was a simple life, but he was a skilled ironsmith.
Okay. Was it in Africa somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
Western Africa.
How old was he when he became a slave?
The word early 20s.
Early 20s, okay.
21, 22 there. So he's been free most of his life.
Do you remember in his life circumstances of him becoming a slave? How did it happen? Connect to that. It's obviously a very powerful moment in his life. What were the circumstances of him losing that ownership of his free will?
I heard he was tricked.
Tricked. Tricked by some promise, money, or?
No, just tricked. I see, like to go onto a ship to look at
Look at something.
look at something, to look at what it was like. That kind of a trick. No money involved. Just
come here, look at this.
Yeah, we're like doing a little tour, kind of a deal, and then boom, that kind of a deal.
Do you know who is the perpetrator here? Can you connect with the person who is playing that role? Allow yourself to see.
Yeah, someone he knew who was paid.
Okay. So this was also an African man.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recognize that energy from your lifetime with this man?
No.
Okay.
This person is not in my lifetime.
Okay.
I'm clear to this person is not in this lifetime.
Okay.
Meaning I won't meet this energy in the future in this lifetime either.
Okay. Very good. Let's go back to the farm. He's on the farm. He's on a plantation. What goes on this plantation? Tell me more. What they planned, how is life there, whatever you can gather and describe.
He's he works in the fields and he works with iron.
Okay. So they're using his skills from before.
Well, he was very attractive, which is often how they got slaves. They went after people that was skillful, had skills, and they were looking. There was a demand for someone with, or for people with, skills with metal, iron, and that's why he was targeted.
Okay. So this was definitely a setup.
Yeah, definitely a setup. They were, definitely a setup.
And how do they treat slaves on this plantation?
Pretty horribly. Very horribly. A lot of death. But it depends on what kind of slave you were. If you were a slave that was, the more value you had, the more incentive was to keep you alive and keep you healthy.
Okay. So it seems like he was in that category, someone that was not just treated as a disposable thing, right?
No, he wasn't. I mean, he was treated horribly slavery. First of all, he was always a free man. He did his own thing. He also had a family.
Was his family also tricked, or are they back in the village?
They're back in the village. They specifically wanted him.
Okay. And what time frame comes to mind when you think of you said they tricked him to see a ship, or when you look at the tools, when you look at the surroundings?
I would say close to, how the number, I don't even have to think. It says the numbers 1830s.
1830s, very good. Are we now still in Africa, or are we in Europe? Where are we? Where's plantation? So it's probably
no. It's actually the answer came just before you asked. This is in the United States.
United States. Okay. In like some of the southern states, like Louisiana or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Somewhere around there.
Okay. So he was shipped from Africa to United States with other slaves.
Yes.
So I'm sure there was death that happened during that process as well. And do you see shackles? Is he wearing shackles? Where does he sleep?
He's not wearing shackles. He would have been on a ship, and he would have been, but he's not wearing. I see shackles like when he's coming off the ship, but he's not in shackles now.
Okay.
He's not.
Okay. So there is a space between where he sleeps and where he works.
Yeah.
That he's allowed to use. And do you see any people monitoring
he doesn't have an overseer, someone on his back with a whip, that kind of a thing. But obviously there's, let's just call it security to ensure that you don't have people running away. And there are people making sure things go the way they're supposed to go.
Okay.
But he per se does not have, it's pretty easy to monitor him because there are assignments and the day is already organized
for him and for the others.
For the others. So if someone isn't doing something it's quickly realized that something is not happening or happening.
Very good. When you connect to this man, obviously he has a sense of unfairness, right? And what are emotions come through him when he starts his day or goes through his day? He's working for free. He's not able to connect to his family. He's far away from home. Does he have any hope? How do you feel his emotional body?
He's extremely angry. And feels violated. And he's very hateful towards those who took his freedom.
Absolutely. Let's see what happens to him further down his life. Let's connect to another scene further down. What happens on this plantation?
He murders some of his enslavers and takes his own life.
Okay. So it's a revenge. He knows that he cannot escape. So he ends up killing the perpetrator.
Yeah, or at least some of them, because he can't kill everybody unless he just poisons the water and all that. He has specific people that he targets, probably based on what they continue to do to him or whatever. He goes after specific people.
Connect to those people for me for a moment. And tell me if their energy resembles anyone you know in this lifetime.
Not generally, but just a certain type. It's the same energy. Like, for example, I don't do it to individuals because I don't judge. I'm not stereotypical. But generally speaking, I am not a big, let's just say I'm not a big fan of older white males. Not younger, older white males.
Let's connect with that. Let's connect with the belief system that is
Americans. So it's not all older white males. It's not all. It's not Europeans. It's not. It's
so
Americans.
It probably stems from that experience of slavery that you are connecting to. Let's follow this man who was enslaved into the spirit realm. Let him take his last breath. What did he use to kill himself?
He poisoned himself.
Okay. Did he do the same with the others?
No, he shot them. He wanted to make sure they were gone and quick and not rescued.
Very good. Now we are on the other side. He poisoned himself. So it took a little while before the poison worked, but it seems like he was ready to go from what you said. There was the only exit from the situation that made sense to him.
Yeah.
I would like for you to see what was the purpose of this man to experience life as a free man with a family, and later on the opposite, a man that is being used as a property, as a source of energy, talents. Why did he have to experience this life, this type of life? What was the lesson there? What comes to you?
Because in previous existences, he was the captor and the enslaver.
I see. Okay.
Those are the words that came.
Okay.
I don't see.
Of course. But there is a knowing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he had to experience what he has done to others.
Yeah, and I see him. He's actually. I see a picture of him now.
Okay.
Back in the day when he was the enslaver.
Okay. So he was that white male before.
No, he wasn't white. But he was enslaver. Yeah.
But in another life.
He played that role. Yes.
Okay. So we know that the purpose of this life was to experience how it feels to also be enslaved. But now, knowing the information that he has done the same to others, can we offer him some comfort so that he understands that that was a lesson, that was an arrangement? And now, with that awareness, knowing that this was for purpose of experience, can we make sure that, and how can we do that? Make sure that he finds his peace. Is it important for him to maybe bring the vision of when he was the perpetrator?
That's what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm. Let's bring that.
And then put them together.
Put them together. Yes.
And he's actually looking at the complete picture, and also seeing the pain that he felt, as well as the pain that he caused. And I see a picture of him slowly shaking his head, like someone says, "Are you speaking to someone?" And they'll give like a nod that says, "I understand now." That kind of a nod. That's what I see him doing right now.
Okay, very good. So does this give him enough comfort so that he can transition? And also the part of him that played the perpetrator. How can we help clear that energy? When you scan your body right now, are there any residues of those energies in the body that we should clear as well?
Answer is yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where in the body do you feel the connection to the perpetrator and the slaver? Both roles you played in different lives. Let's connect to where it is present in the body.
It's in two places. Stomach and heart.
Okay, very good. I'm going to put my hand on your stomach and on your heart. So if you could open up for me, put your hands on the side. I very gently invite you to release this energy. And just use my hands as an opening. And allow yourself to gently create that sensation of surfacing, the energy surfacing. And empty all of it out. And let me know if it's happening.
Yeah.
Very good. Don't hold back.
I feel it in my hands too.
Very good. Release it from your hands. Allow it to flow out. the hands that have done harm, right? That were inappropriately touching or beating or doing other things. Let it be released fully. Let me know if you need my help, and then I will touch the hands as well. Or if you're able to release it on your own. Connect to that bigger picture as you release. Knowing that this story, once we learn it, doesn't have to be present in our psyche, in our reality. You can visualize your fingers unzipping like if you had zippers, and that energy cleansing, calming out. It's cleared along with all the pain related to people that have experienced cruelty from your hands. So let's clear not just from you, but also the effect of your deeds. So dig deeply.
Yeah, that was a rush wounding. Place focused on that.
Very good. When you scan the body, perhaps you feel it not just in a physical body, but in an energetic body, in a mental space.
So what I see is like there's like a bunch of like dark spots, and so now it's like in both the heart and there's like one, and it's just being overtaken by like light.
Very good. Allow it to be completely transformed by the light. Allow yourself to see how the present creates the past, and by allowing that light, the stories can be interpreted as lessons, not as something that we look at as something shameful or something we need to hide. Let me see if it's happening for you. And take your time and do it until it feels clear. We're not rushing. We need to make sure that this energy gets integrated back in a way that is loving, that is fully recrystallized into a new frequency that has nothing to do with shame, with guilt, with anger. So dig deeply. There's a lot of that energy in your solar plexus. I feel it. And also in the base chakra and the sacrum as well. So let's go through each energy center in your body to help you clear. I am gently supporting this process using my hand to help open these centers that were holding on to these memories, to these beliefs that I've done wrong, or these emotions of aggression, guilt, shame. Allow yourself to feel it as you let it go.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to experience it. And then allow them to pass. We're not building any construct reality around it. We are just consciously watching these emotions, giving them the moment to be acknowledged. Let's acknowledge them together as valid, as something that has its place. It's very important that you don't resist anything that's coming to the surface. Even if it's a little uncomfortable. Just gently allow all your chakras to open. You open them, you can bring that energy towards the surface. Are you able to clear?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned like the solar plexus and the base, because I was on the stomach and nothing was like everything was gone. And then when you said that, I focused on that, and then all of a sudden,
Yes. It's important that we look everywhere. So as you move through the base chakra, the sacrum, the solar plexus, then let's move to the heart. And let's remove any hints of guilt, or if there is any other energy covering that unconditional love and unconditional allowance that I want you to feel from now on. Let's clear it. And if you need help from your guides, from your higher self, let's connect to those entities, beings that are here to help, so that you don't feel alone in this journey of clearing the ancestry pain. Let your spirit guides show you what was the purpose of this function, why you had to experience that.
I see the phrase "to know compassion."
Towards that white man, right? In the 40s in America. Let's clear the energy in the throat as well, so that there's no obstructions as far as communicating that compassion. And I also invite that compassion to flow into the mind. I'm going to put my Fingers on your forehead gently to solidify the communication between the heart and the mind. So the compassion flows and is present in the speech and then influences your thoughts. Feel that compassion, let me know if you're able to feel it.
Yes.
Very good. Now that we cleared these energies from the ancestors, what should I put in your base chakra, in your sacrum, in your solar plexus, in your heart? What would be most beneficial?
I think self-worth and good balance.
Mm-hmm. You experienced extremes in these lifetimes, from being in control and being famous and people listening to you, from abusing to being abused and angry. So it's understandable that you would feel a sense of imbalance because you're internally maneuvering between really high tides. So let's put some calm, some soothing energy into your solar plexus, into your heart. I want you to feel it in all of your energy centers. And with that calmness and compassion comes the feeling of self-worth, that you don't need to live these stories anymore. Live through these stories. You don't need to think of it as something that defines you in any way. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Very
Yes.
good. Very good. It's like taking an old coat that doesn't really fit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take it all off. Scan your body, make sure that it's all gone, and let me know if it's gone.
Up to the throat area now.
Very good.
And then release.
Very good.
Oof.
Very good. Allow yourself to purge all of that energy. And when the throat clears, you can move upwards towards the third eye. And the third eye can look inside and outside. It helps us to see what is reality, not the physical reality, but the reality construct in a bigger way. Allow yourself to see it so that later on in life, you won't connect specifically to stories, but more lessons that once integrated, you're able to use in a positive way. I want you to feel how you can use all of those examples in a positive way. And once you see it, you've accumulated a lot of experiences. You must know that there are positive usages of this knowledge. You're here in this lifetime to heal, to help raise consciousness. How are these stories, these intense lifetimes, empowering you right now so that you can be a better healer? Do you see that perspective for your third eye?
Yeah, definitely.
Very good.
Definitely.
Any examples that come to you, ideas or sensations or words?
It less judgmental. It'll cause me to be less judgmental. So one of the things.
Very good.
Because judgment tends to block things.
Correct. Judgment is rigid. It's self-righteous. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And even though I know it, it's like it's not good enough to know. You have to.
We need the experiential aspect, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You said you're able to experience compassion. Let's test it. I want you to see yourself as this white male that owns slaves and is cruel to them, and still understand the bigger picture and have compassion. Let me know if you're able to feel it. If you can see it as an illusion, as a projection, just for the sake of experience rather than the reality on itself.
Yeah, in the bigger picture, I can have compassion for when he goes through that lesson of his deeds. So it's still the same person.
Mm-hmm.
But,
perspective changes, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But when he's, the compassion is because he's going to have to understand and learn the lessons of his, his actions, and probably in just as much a painful way as I had to. So I can have compassion for him for that.
Very good. Very good. Let me know how the throat and the third eye feel. If you're able to open to that clarity fully, I want you to open fully on all levels, all timelines, all dimensions, to float freely between different existences for a purpose of learning and obtaining information that you can use as a healer in this lifetime. See if you can travel this way, if you can connect this way. Let me know if it's happening or if you need any assistance.
I think I might need a little assistance.
Okay, which area? Throat or third eye? Or both? Or maybe it's in the mind. Maybe it's in a different place.
I don't feel it in the throat, but I feel it up.
Up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to put my hands here gently right around your crown. Visualize a violet stream, almost like a fountain of energy. And it starts at the base of your spine and goes through each chakra. It's like a tunnel, like a channel, tube of energy. It has all the colors of the chakras, from the red at the base to the orange, the sacrum, to the yellow at the solar plexus, to the green, to the heart, to the very gentle washed out blue at the throat, to indigo at your third eye, and violet at the crown. Allow it to burst as this energy goes upwards. And allow it as it wraps around you like waterfall, like a fountain wraps around its centerpiece, to clear the passageways for you to see beyond the limiting, the experience that you see visually, so that you can truly connect to the meaning of the lesson for each person, even if they visually make you feel like judging that person. See your consciousness branching out and gathering the information so that you can have compassion for every human being and every experience. I want you to connect to that spirit part of you that is non-physical. That spirit is a conduit for the information. So as we're branching out from the crown, let's integrate that higher self aspect into you. Visualize your body like a grid rather than a physical thing, a circuit, a grid, a web, a conduit. And above your head, in the form of a star, visualize your higher self. And allow the light from that star to pour into your grid, to integrate that information from higher consciousness into your physical body, into your physical reality, into your conscious, subconscious, into your thoughts. And let me know if it's happening. Very good. Allow it to connect with your nervous system and your veins. And fully activate the compassion and the passion principle within you to act on what excites you without judgment, without expectation. Just being in the flow with that higher self information. Being aware of the conduit that you are and the stream of consciousness passing through your physical veins, muscles. How does it feel to connect to your higher self and be able to feel it as part of you, not something separate?
Feels really good.
Mm-hmm. Integrate it, make it yours. However you want to visualize it. You mentioned to me that the idea of your inner child is important. Is it still important in that moment? Or what would be a better representation for that higher self always communicating and guiding you?
So to see it all, we're all one and not like in a segmented, separate situation.
Mm-hmm. So it could be a child in one moment and something else in another moment.
Yeah, but it's all the same. It's instead of like
separated, right?
Yeah, like I've got to run over here and take care of my other child. I've got to run my higher self over here, and then I got to take care of. It's really that's
Mm-hmm. That's an illusion.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
So that's
Beautiful. So feel this deeply, that connectedness. It's like we can send our consciousness to one part of the information field and gather information, right? And then bring it back to the central point and use it. And then we can do the same simultaneously with many different realities, many different experiences. Does this make you feel confident and empowered that you have access to that information?
Absolutely.
Very good. Let this become your reality. Allow yourself to believe fully that this is who you are. So it is real as an experience. And the physical reality is just a projection, it's just an illusion. It is necessary to have an experience, but it is not real unto itself. Let me know if you're able to embrace it and comprehend it fully.
Yeah.
Very good. When you think of your family, I want to now connect deeply to your higher self and ask some questions. Is it okay for me to ask questions?
Absolutely.
Great. When you think of your turbulent childhood that was full of very intense characters, your mother, your sisters, your father, when you look at it now from the empowered, balanced standpoint, is there anything else that we need to do in order to make sure that these experiences don't weigh you down, don't affect you? we ignited that compassion within you earlier. Are you able to forgive and feel full compassion and leave that reality behind?
You know what? Absolutely.
Beautiful.
I actually can. The only concern was, I'm able to forgive. And now it's definitely, I have forgiven my family before this session. No, I just couldn't let go of a lot of things, or it was, they just kept cycling back in.
You still felt like they gave you some kind of sense of entitlement.
Yeah.
To have them in your sphere.
Yeah.
Do you see the limitation of this type of thinking?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you ready to let it go completely?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Let it go with the wind. You can take a deep inhale and exhale. Let it come out just naturally as you exhale. It no longer serves you. So there is no need in the mind to come back to any of those stories. Let's make sure that that takes place, okay? You mentioned the idea of clean slate. You want to feel like clean slate. Let me know if you feel that way. That there are all possibilities in front of you or within you. Take a moment to solidify that experience within you. I am clear. I am clean. I no longer need to play a role of a savior or watcher or protector. I release the need to fulfill anybody's idea of what I am. I release on all the energetic connections with my family, and I release the idea to be right about anything. I let it go completely. You feel it. Beautiful.
Yeah, I get like my right hand just on its own
twitching.
to one of those numbers.
Very good. Very good. When you scan your body, not just physical body, but also your nervous system, your emotional body, your mental body, connected to the higher self, are you able to feel the flow, the inner current of your own perspective?
Yeah, I am. And I see just like a light or clarity through on the energetic body.
Beautiful. So there is no more dust or rust anywhere inside in the mind, in the emotional body. Now it's more about making sure you stay in that state.
Yes.
How do we make sure that Roger stays in that state? What would be recommended for him?
Oh.
We want to make sure he expands. That's his biggest wish.
Yes. Okay. Give me a second.
Yes.
I feel having a point from this moment to always look towards until it becomes fully integrated would be a good idea. Like because when just being a healer and being someone who works on the self constantly, there's always, whenever you get a new layer, there's always I'm not projecting or creating this, but there seems to be like a point at which, you always have to watch the situation until it's integrated, then it becomes involuntary. That's what it seems always with every other circumstance. When you first get to a new place, you have to think about everything. Everything has to be voluntary until you become accustomed and acclimated that it just happens without effort.
Very good. So it's like if you were watching yourself as you're learning how to walk in a new way. And then you watch like the parent, like a watchful parent watches a child. And when everything stabilizes, then it becomes a flow.
Yes.
Okay. So what you're saying is your higher self tells you to be very watchful, to be very present.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that what you said? Let's
Yes.
make sure that we get it clear.
Yeah. Keep an eye on the situation constantly until.
So you don't let yourself be pulled into a different way of looking at it, correct?
Yeah.
You mentioned the center point.
Yeah. To really have that down.
And when you think of that center point, what would symbolize that center point for you? So that you have that permission slip, so to speak, a voucher, a ticket, a token, something that is the reminder for you that you are in a watchful state, you are safe, you're centered, your energy and focus is not going into the areas that are not of the most importance. Let's ask your higher self to give something in physical reality, an exercise, or an object.
A golden pillar?
Golden pillar. Mm-hmm. Where should we place this golden pillar to always remind you to be present in your heart?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you need my help with it? Or can you put it yourself?
Yeah. Let me.
I'm going to put my hand and help you create the base. But I want you to do it on your own too. I want you to put your hand on your heart, and I want you to feel that base building strongly, that pillar, rooted deeply into the earth, and let it grow upwards. So we'll take it from the heart down through your solar plexus, through your sacrum, through your base chakra, through your legs, into the earth. And from the heart, let's make it expand through your throat, through your third eye, through your crown, into the core of the cosmic experience. Dense. So that you are grounded. That pillar grounds you, gives you the center point. And as it expands upwards, it further allows you to see beyond the physical, expands your consciousness, and let me know if it's happening.
Oh, yes, what's been happening since you're talking.
Very good. Very good. So this is your reminder.
Yeah, it feels like a pulsing.
So it's a living, dynamic thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not static.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Very good. Would you like to give it a name?
Yeah, I'm not good at, I shouldn't say that. I give everybody a nickname.
Pillar is okay, but if anything more personal for you comes,
that's not very personal.
that's okay.
Well,
As long as you feel it, as long as you know what it is, let yourself feel that frequency of that pillar, how it communicates.
The golden love.
The golden love. Beautiful. Okay. It is integrated. It is done.
All right.
I have a couple of other questions just to make sure that we take care of any challenges so that they no longer need to be experienced. Now, having that pillar inside, that golden love, that dynamic being that is part of you and you're part of it, will you be able to streamline your thoughts better, to focus better, to meditate? Will you be able to gather your thoughts and align your thoughts with your intention so that the proper action can take place in the physical realm?
Yes, I'm going to say yes to that. Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Because if I think it's real, I'm not real. Real, not real.
Exactly.
Real.
Feel it. Feel it.
Real.
Feel yourself acting in this physical world as an extension of that pillar that you are. That unshakable sense of worthiness, of love, of compassion. No more stories needed. No more comparison needed.
No more heroism needed.
That's right. So you don't have to overgive to overcompensate for lack of worth, self-worth. Feel the self-worth deeply and that love, that connection to the source. You are the source itself in action. You are the perspective of the source. Can you feel this?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. So when you are in this state, your conscious and subconscious, real and unreal, wave and particle, they're all connected. They're communicating. Is it something you can relate to right now? You can feel how this is a possibility.
Absolutely.
Very good. Let's look at your knee really quick and your lower back and make sure that this energy from the lower back is clear for any physical remnants of any connections with lower vibrational beings that you expose yourself to for the purpose of learning, that it's fully released. Let's make sure that we scan the physical body and let me know if it's gone or if you need to work on it.
Need to work on the lower back a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Would you need my help? Would you like me to put my hand underneath and help you, or would be the best way?
Okay, let me
Would you like to try to test your powers and see if you can do it yourself?
That's what I want to do
Very good.
first.
Very good.
I feel warmth and release happening.
Very good.
What do you see? Any action?
Let me connect. So as I'm passing my hand for your energy systems, It's very nice and fuzzy and warm. There is no overheating anywhere like before when we were clearing.
Yeah.
This is all even field. Visualize yourself sealing that opening. So I feel like what it needs is extra layer to make sure that not only we remove everything, but we also bring that area into balance fully. By replacing the opening with that love, with that compassion, with that self-worth. I feel like maybe this self-worth was also related to the pornography addiction you have cleared out of your life.
Yeah, I would definitely say, yeah.
So maybe the people who were able to get into your sacrum through the lower back had also similar challenge. And it just found a spot, where it could sit.
Yeah.
That's why you had these thoughts of like, I want to make sure that I have no residue of addiction patterns towards pornography.
Yeah.
Okay. In your sacrum, this is a pleasure seeker chakra. And in this worldly experience that we have, this earthly experience, it's okay to feel pleasure. It's okay to taste new things, to allow yourself to smell flowers, eat good foods, touch people. I want you to connect to the idea of gently, freely expressing kindness and tenderness and loving care through touch, through taste, through smell, through the bodily sensations. And see if that brings solution.
Definitely, especially touch, because I'm a tactile person.
I think it would be great suggestion for Roger to start actively going to events where body touch is okay, like acro yoga or cuddling with friends, where he can connect to that blissful, loving, safe way of touching, right?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. I've never heard of acro yoga.
When you scan the psyche of Roger, when we scan his subconscious, is there anything else that is needed? Does he feel worthy now? Does he feel that he can take his life into any direction that he wants? Is there anything else we can offer? Anything else, perhaps in relation to his mother? He mentioned that strong connection that is very polarized. And perhaps now that I know more information about his lives being a slave and being also an owner of slaves, maybe the energy related to his family comes or stems from these experiences too. I want to make sure that there is no more of a heroism, like you said before. He said before, related to saving his family and his mother. His mother was abused when she was pregnant with Roger. What does it feel to you Do you need any clearing in this aspect? Or will you be able to look at it like you were looking at this white man from the higher perspective? This is what they need to experience to learn. And I can just observe it from my spectrum of reality, neutrally can observe it without getting involved, without judging, without offering a solution even. Just living my life fully and operating from the place of balanced.
Yeah, I think the imbalance and what you said earlier about the consciousness not being centered in but being around was part of that problem.
Has it now been integrated and is part of that pillar?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. We want to make sure that Roger does not get involved in situations where he's acting off-center. Okay. But the relationship with the family is not a problem if he is connected to his own higher self.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
I don't have a relationship with my mom. I don't know if I told you that. I don't.
But we talk about, the emotional background that you share, just to make sure that these circumstances do not affect you in any way anymore. That idea of heroism, looking at yourself as someone that is second to something else. I want to make sure that this is cleared and neutralized. You feel yourself equal to source and creation.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I.
So there is no difference.
Right.
Very good.
Right. Yes.
Is there anything else we can do for Roger today? Offer any suggestions, any healing, any device, any tool?
No, not really. Except I didn't scan my knee, which I probably should.
Let's scan your knee really well. Maybe more anger is there or something related to your childhood and other realms, other lifetimes.
Yeah. So at least that. Anger was really big because because I've been releasing anger for years.
Let's get rid of it once and for all. Not get rid, but what we did earlier, we looked at the spectrum of experiences from the higher self perspective. How we're all connected and one information serves the other, and it's not wrong or right. So let's make sure that Roger no longer has a need to judge any experience or any person within himself first. Because only then we can extend the same to others.
Okay, I think I'm good there.
I want to make sure that the pillar keeps Roger centered so he doesn't go back to the old patterns of holding on to anger. By supplying him with lots of love, unconditional allowance, unconditional support. Can we make sure we do that?
Absolutely.